Perfect.
Hey, y'all.
Hello, how are you doing?
Hey, Tina.
Hi, how are you
Hello,
doing?
David. I'm doing
Hey,
great.
good morning. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Terry, I forgot to tell you that we were going to have three beautiful ladies on our show today. I thought there was only one, but it looks like there's going to be three.
We got three.
Sounds good.
Go big or go home. Yes.
That's right.
So Terry, this on my right is Carol Shadrick, and she's a longtime friend, well over probably 30 years, I don't know,
Yeah.
but friends of the family. She's a lender here and has 16 plus years in real estate in various different forms and lending and title work and all of that. So I work a lot with her. And then this is Denise Towery here. She's from Orange County, California. She didn't find me on your site. She found me on moving to Arkansas, but we became great friends when they moved here, and she has a great perspective. Also, she drives Uber here, and she meets a lot of people that are moving here. So she's a great advocate of Northwest Arkansas.
Biggest cheerleader.
Yes, she is.
Great.
Anyway, that's our little.
Well, good. Well, Carol and Denise, nice to meet you. And Tina, it's good to see you again.
Good to see you too, Terry.
Yeah.
Thank you. And David, I like that background. It looks great.
Yeah, Las Vegas doesn't always have to be the Bellagio and slot machines. I
Right.
mean, we do have a lot more to offer than that, I promise.
I agree.
And Terry, it's funny you guys are doing this presentation, which I absolutely love. And Terry and I have been talking about this for a while, but people don't really want to just sit and listen to a bunch of people talk. They want
Right.
to show me the money, right? They want to show. So this is going to be good. And we haven't had a presentation like that yet on our show. So I'm excited for that.
Well, it's just kind of a quick presentation, but coming from corporate America, I was like, okay, I'm going to be on this thing. I have to do a PowerPoint. I'm compelled to do a PowerPoint.
By the way, we're going to go live here in a minute. I forgot the names already, and I apologize. Tina, of course, I remember your name, but you'll be introducing. You can do an introduction and say who they are and why you chose to bring them along. And, you know, this is a very organic show, and we just keep it organic. We keep it the least scripted as possible, and we just talk and have fun. And if we laugh, that's great. And we give out tons of great information to all the members on leaving California, and that's who we're really speaking to. Terry, anything else to add?
No, I think we're ready to go.
All right, here we go. My computer's running a little slow.
Well, we're live on Facebook.
No.
Nope. Great.
Well, here we are. We made it, everybody. This is super exciting. Again, here we are in our live show. Hello to everybody in our Leaving California groups, to all of our members, almost 300,000. We've got Tina from Arkansas. Of course, we got Terry. Hey, guys. Terry, how you doing, buddy?
Oh, it's a beautiful day in Central Florida, David. 62 degrees, no breeze. So in the sun, it feels like about 75 degrees. So it's a beautiful day. We get about 7 months of great weather here in Florida, which really compares to California. It's just the opposite, though. Instead of having great weather in the summer, which it's Africa hot here in the summertime, we get great weather during the winter and springtime. So, and Tina, it's great to have you and your guests here with us today also.
Yes, thank you. Well, and actually, in Arkansas,
go ahead. No, go ahead, Tina.
Oh, it's 62 degrees in Arkansas today, is what I was going to say.
Well, before I turn it over to Tina, and it looks like she's already made an amazing presentation, by a recommendation of Terry Gilliam, our founder. Terry said, let's get rid of that Bellagio. And this is what it looks like in Las Vegas with our sunsets. It's just amazing. So Terry, I changed my background.
It looks great, David. That's the Las Vegas I like to see. I've been to Las Vegas 100 times for trade shows and business meetings, things like that. But what you're showing is the Las Vegas I really enjoy.
Yeah. And thank you. My daughter just brought me some coffee. So I'd like, thank you. Yeah, I have an 18-year-old daughter. She's going off to college. That's a whole nother story. Let's save that for a different show. without further ado, Tina, welcome to our show. She's been so excited. She put together a presentation. Tina, introduce your friends and let's get started.
Yes. Okay, so I'm Tina Stanley, and I'm a realtor with Leaving California, one of the preferred realtors in Northwest Arkansas. And to my right here is Carol Shadrick.
Hello.
And I'll kind of turn this around to her. There's Carol. Carol is with Flat Branch Mortgage, and Carol and I have known each other for over 30 years. Our families have known each other for many, many years. She's from the area as well, is a lifelong resident, and she has been in different various forms of real estate for over 16 years. So she's worked in title and lending, and Carol and I get to work together on a lot of the transactions that we work, together. And she is really great with communications and throughout the process. If I need something, since we've been friends for so long, I can usually reach her whenever. I hate to, but I do.
Oh, yeah.
After hours. So
That's part of the game. Yes. I like to be available to the
she's
clients.
very available. Yeah.
And to Tina. So, yeah, we
Yeah.
love Arkansas, and we love to see you guys come on out.
Yes. And then over this way, this is Denise Towery. Okay, Denise is from California. She's from Orange County. And we first had a phone call and found out that we have a lot of things in common.
So many things.
So many things. We were like, okay, we're sisters from another mother. So
It was meant to
anyway,
be.
it was meant to be. So Denise has embraced living in Arkansas, and she has a really good perspective on all the different things that you will encounter. She's an advocate for moving to Arkansas from California, and her family have actually thrived here and love it. So yeah, so we'll let them, talk, or you can ask them questions or whatever, because they both have a really good perspective. I'm a native of Northwest Arkansas, so I really, in some cases, have taken it for granted because it's just, to me, it's home. I've lived in a couple of different areas. I have lived in South Florida for about 3 years and Memphis, Tennessee for about 3 years in my adult life. And we chose to come back here and raise our family here. So anyway, that's our little.
Well, so me and Terry like to always bring up whether or not we've been there before. And just to give you a little background, I was stationed in Little Rock Air Force Base. So I served for 4 years, a long time ago. But I did drive through. And that's one of my regrets, is not spending more time up in the Ozarks and up there. It's just so beautiful. It's just one of the most amazing, beautiful places I've seen. Terry, how about you? What's your Northwest Arkansas history?
I was in Northwest Arkansas a year and a quarter ago. It was July 4th time frame. I was down in oh, come on now. What's Hot Springs Village for a couple of days with our realtor partners down there, and then drove up to the Northwest Arkansas, met with Tina. We had a great time together. I tell you, it's a huge change between Little Rock, going even to Hot Springs Village, going up to Northwest Arkansas. It's completely different up there. A lot of trees. The forest is very different. And then once you get to Bentonville and all the surrounding areas, my gosh, you can tell that there's some money in that area, because it is very well developed, very well planned. Not like you don't get the big city feel at all, especially like in downtown Bentonville. You don't get the big city feel, but you can tell that it's very upscale, very nice. And I love the area. I absolutely loved it.
It's beautiful. Yeah, and Tina, most of our realtors that we bring on our show every week, they don't make a presentation like you did. So typically, and again, I say this to everybody, we don't script this. This is just organic. So we haven't really talked about the format, but usually every week on the format, we'll ask you questions about your community, job opportunities, education, transportation, things like that. Would you like to do your little presentation first, or do you want us to dive in and start talking about your area?
Yeah, go ahead and start talking about it. And, if I have a slide that speaks to that, then I can, pull that slide up and share that slide if we want to, because I've hit on some of those things. Mostly, I have some pictures of the area so people can get, because I know people love pictures, but people can kind of, get a picture in their mind of what Northwest Arkansas is about. So I have, 3 full slides of just photographs of different areas and things to do here. That's some of the big questions I get when people are moving here is, what is there to do? They have a misconception of Arkansas, and they think we're all just rural, and yes, there's rural areas, and 15 minutes outside of Bentonville, you can get into or Fayetteville or Springdale, you can get into some very rural areas. But we also have all the amenities that people are used to as well. Pretty much. We don't have a Costco though, I'm sorry.
It's only an hour and a half.
But we have the arts and we have entertainment.
Yes,
and
we do. Yes.
We have a lot of live shows and, things like that people can enjoy. It's a great community.
So if we're talking about the different attractions and things, the lifestyle, let's talk a little bit about attractions, what people need to see, what they would want to see repeatedly, and some of your favorite things around the area.
Well, gosh, that's really my favorite things are really in the outdoors. I love to hike and canoe and just do a lot of outdoor things. However, we do have an art center. Walton Arts Center is really a world-class art center here. We have Crystal Bridges, which is a world-class art museum and gallery. Yeah. And
An amazing music venue.
Yes.
The amp is incredible. I
Yep.
saw Sting there the other day.
Yeah, we have a music venue here, which is they call it the Amp, and we get all the big stars that roll through here. It's kind of an outdoor music venue, so you only can go there from typically end of March, probably April, I guess, or May.
Yeah, through all the
April,
summer
May, through
concerts are
October.
amazing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kind of like
And-
old, Irvine, what was it called in California? Irvine Spectrum, the old Irvine Amphitheater. So it's an outdoor theater, very cool, very, low key, but some amazing artists here. I was very surprised.
Yeah. So for people that like outdoor activities and beautiful mountains and lakes and streams and fishing and all that stuff, I mean, this is probably to die for, I would assume.
It's your place.
Yes, it's paradise, yes.
For sure.
Well, and then we have the University of Arkansas as well, and we have a lot of things that go along with that, so you have a lot of sporting events that are associated with the University of Arkansas and
Bringing in a professional soccer team that's going
Yeah.
to be going, I think that's 2025.
in Rogers, yeah, professional soccer team is coming here. We have a professional baseball team. It's a minor league, City Royals, so we love that as well.
Getting another one done just down south a little bit further in Fort Smith.
Oh yeah,
It's
that's
called
right.
Marshalls.
Yeah,
Another, I think it's baseball.
baseball.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Yeah. Now, one of the things, and since you have a picture of the bridge here, most of these people are probably heading towards out of California. And I don't know if that does it justice, Terry, on the traffic, but that's one of the things we talk about. We talk about traffic and getting around your city and how far away you are from regional and international airports and so forth. Maybe talk a little bit about transportation and yeah, I think most of it must be going on the right side because those are all the people that are leaving, and then those are
Yes, I think so.
And that's gotta be at like 3 o'clock in the morning, even though it looks lighter, because the traffic is never that light anywhere in California.
That's right.
So as far as the airport goes, the airport just became a national airport. It used to be a regional airport, now it's national. And we do have a lot of direct flights. We have a direct to LAX in California, and we have some directs to Florida as well, and then Chicago and all the other major hubs as well. But the airport is about 15 minutes from Bentonville. I'll let Denise speak to that more. because
26 minutes from
she
downtown
drives-
Bentonville.
Okay, so she
But
drives
no
that
traffic.
all the time. She drives Uber here locally, and she does so because she loves to meet people. And she actually did that in California too. And one of her moving points, she asked me, would she still be able to drive Uber here? And I said, well, of course we do have Uber. I don't know if you'll be as busy, but I think you have, haven't you?
It's amazing with how much growth is going on here and all the corporations that are here, the big three. There's a lot of moving parts. People from all over the world are coming to visit with Walmart and Tyson and JB Hunt and all of the other pieces of that puzzle. So it's been quite lucrative. And again, I do Uber strictly for fun because I really love people. I wasn't even sure I was going to drive out here once I left California. But I really miss the people, and the people here are incredible. Everybody's got manners, even the young ones, which is surprising to me because I've never seen that before, but that Southern charm, it's a real thing. It's not a joke.
Well, so Terry, why don't, before I get into the, and by the way, for everybody that's watching our show, thank you guys for your support. We appreciate being able to be the resources for so many people, you know, and I say this every week, I'll say it again. I'm so proud of Terry and to be a part of this. And Terry has created a group of 300,000 members that have a chance to get to a place where they can ask questions and they can get information. And we just continue to do these every week to try to help give people information about leaving California. So, and then we do make recommendations for lenders and for realtors, but we do that after we find out if you really want to leave. And I can see that Tina has it. I mean, I see the passion. I can just feel it. You're not going to get off the plane at the airport and she's going to say, okay, well, how much money do you want to spend? She's going to drive you around and she's going to see if this actually makes sense for you and your family. And that's what every realtor in our group does. So before I get into real estate, what else you got to ask, Terry? Go ahead.
Tina, if you can talk about the mountain biking, that's huge in that area. And then also you've got a massive body of water to your east. Can you talk about that? Lakefront properties and boating and all that stuff. Is that a reservoir? I guess that is.
Yes, it is. Yes, it's a reservoir. It's called Beaver Lake. And it is one of how many lakes? 5 or 6 lakes that have been dammed up on the White River. The White River headwaters in the mountains about 40 minutes east of Fayetteville. And Beaver Lake has over 500 miles of shoreline, and it's an absolutely gorgeous lake. It's a Corps of Engineers lake that basically was dammed up back in right after the Depression, when the Corps of Engineers did the lakes all around the country. So the waters are really, really clear. They're clear enough for people to dive in. They're, divers, there's dive schools and things up there. You can water ski, you can sail. There's a lot of sailboats that are out of one of the marinas. It's called Lost Bridge Marina. There's quite a few different marinas on the lake. You can rent boats. We do that all the time. We don't currently own a boat, but we go out there and rent. And in fall, it was absolutely gorgeous. In the 80s, the leaves were turning and we rented a boat like 2 weekends straight and just rode around on the lake. So, but the house is along the lake. So being a Corps of Engineer lake, you have to have a setback line of about 500 feet, I think it is. And you have to get approval to have a dock. So if you want a house with an existing dock, that's going to add about $100,000 to $150,000 to the price of a house. So the price point is, Lakeview, you can probably get in the 600s to 700s maybe. And then Lakefront with a dock is going to be in excess of 900 these days. So it's probably going to be up around $1 million for Lakefront, where you can walk down to the lake and have a dock and have a view.
And you guys don't have alligators, do you?
No, south of us, maybe an hour south they do, but it gets too cold up here in the winter, so we don't have alligators.
What about do you have any hurricanes?
No hurricanes, no. Sometimes we'll get spin-off rain when they
No,
come.
I'm teasing because Terry just went through one. I'm teasing.
Oh.
No, I was teasing.
Okay.
I didn't just go through one. That was a year ago.
Well, it's been a minute. That's true.
Let me ask real quick, Tina, how about houseboating? Is there houseboating on where you can rent a houseboat and stay on the lake also?
Yes,
And
yes.
I'll tell you why I'm asking, because I used to rent a houseboat on Lake Shasta up in Northern California. By the way, a massive, massive lake that only has 350 miles of shoreline. I say only. I can't imagine 500 miles of shoreline. That is so much bigger than Lake Shasta, which to me was a behemoth. So that's very impressive. They've got that. And so you've got all the benefits that people can get in California when it comes to boating and houseboating, things like that.
Oh, yes, yes, absolutely. I mean, I grew up on Beaver Lake and absolutely a gorgeous lake. We grew up bluff diving. We would, much to my dad's dismay, we would climb up the bluffs and jump and dive off the bluffs and climb back up. So there's still some of that goes on. A lot of pontoon boats will pull up to the bluffs and you can see people climbing and jumping. But anyway, and to get into the parks, you have a day pass for, I think it's $5 a car to get in and use the parks. You know, if you want to camp there, I think it may be $20 overnight, maybe not even 20, $15 to $20 for an overnight camping. I think you can camp as long as 30 days, but no longer in a stretch. But there's lots of camping places, day use facilities on the lake.
And we have those camping on Beaver Lake, but there's camping literally just all throughout Northwest Arkansas. Devil's Den is a place that's in our area. It's a lot of hiking, and you can go and camp there. That's another location.
Yeah.
Glowing Springs, if you guys are bikers,
Yeah.
mountain bikers.
Well, so there's so many places to bike, camp, hike, you know, all those.
Canoe.
There's actually books, 2 books that have been put out on Northwest Arkansas. I usually give them to clients. One is called, let's see, Swimming Holes of Northwest Arkansas. The other one is Waterfalls of Northwest Arkansas. And then there's another one that's hiking trails. And now there's all sorts of biking, mountain biking. You ask about that, Terry.
Mhm.
The mountain biking trails are incredible. And Bentonville is now touted as being the world's, I don't know, the world's largest, largest mountain biking venue in the world.
And the US Olympic mountain biking team
Yeah,
trains here.
yeah.
They train
Wow.
here.
There's an event
Wow.
here.
Well, Tina, it's so good that you, thank you so much for sharing so much. There's so much to see and do up there. You never get tired of seeing it, and I'm sure you go multiple times. But back to real estate, since you brought your lender along, and I don't know if you have a screen of the areas that you serve, and maybe people could see that visual of Arkansas.
I don't think I have I don't think I put that on here, but it's really it's a 2 or 3 county area. For the most part, it's 2 counties. It's Washington County and Benton County, and it's about a 50-mile radius.
From Little Rock, because everybody knows the center of Arkansas, to get to where you're at. How long of a drive is that?
Yeah, it's about 2.5 to 3 hours to Little Rock to drive.
Okay. And
Yeah.
then, so now, since you brought your lender, maybe we could talk a little bit more about real estate. You know, talk about inventory, days on market, seller incentives, what's happening in the real estate world. And then also, you know, I know you laughed when I said you don't just meet them when they get off the plane and say how much you want to spend. And you laugh because it is funny that there are people in our industry and realtors that act like that. They should be kicked out. They should be banned, and they're not in our premier group. We have over 350 premier realtors that we use, and nobody treats anybody like that in our group. So maybe you could kind of walk people through of how somebody that was thinking about coming to your area. So talk about that, and then if you want to talk about the actual inventory, days on market, and what it's like to purchase, and the experience that they would have, that would be awesome. Thank you.
Yeah. So I'll turn this back over here for just a minute and then we'll let
Yeah.
Carol jump in as well. What I usually do is someone will private message me, or, you know, we'll hook up somehow like that. Then I set up a phone call. So we have a phone call and I ask them all the questions, you know, why are they wanting to move to Arkansas? Do they have any connections here? Do they have any experience, etc.? I try to get as much information as I can to try to help me determine if this is going to be a good fit or not. If they start, you know, if they say something like, oh, I've never been there, but I heard it's nice, then I'm like, you know, you really should come visit first to know what you're getting into. I have sold some homes to people that moved here that never came and visited once. But I do have some investors across the country that will, buy those homes, but some homes people just bought and lived in. But what I do is when they arrive here, we set up a meeting. I usually meet them for breakfast, maybe at First Watch in Bentonville or somewhere like that. And then I put them in my car and I drive them around because I want to be able to talk to them while we're driving around and tell them all the places and all the things. That usually takes at least half a day, unless they're wanting to go to 2 counties, and then I can take a full day of just driving around with them in the car. We'll stop and get lunch at certain places. And then I'll talk about all the different areas because each town has its own different, distinct personality. And once you get 15 minutes outside of the cities, the 4 major cities in Northwest Arkansas, you can get into some pretty rough territory. And there's certain areas where you probably wouldn't want to live. There's some areas that might be right next to a chicken house. I've had people say, oh, I love this place, but then I'm like, it's within a mile, upwind of a chicken or downwind of a chicken house, and you really don't want to smell that in the summer. So, So, so that's the next thing I do. If we locate a house on that trip, typically that's just a fact-finding trip. Sometimes people are ready to go, but most of the time they just want to see if this area is for them. If it is for them, then we talk about next steps, and I will set up some search criteria for them. And also, if they're not pre-approved, then I will recommend Carol and typically other lenders, and then let them choose. I love Carol because she'll hop on the phone with them and have conversations with them, and is very personable as well. And then when we find a house, I do a lot of FaceTime showings. I do a lot of video showings. And then I have partners with contractors in the area, lots of contractors, and also inspectors. I'll go there for the inspection myself with the inspector, and then I will video his findings. And then the inspectors that I use will also provide pictures, to the clients so they can see what's going on. In the state of Arkansas, you have 10 business days by which to do all of your inspections, due diligence. Typically these days, now 2 years ago when it was, multiple offer situation, you would have to put deposits, but these days we're just not seeing a lot of deposits. And I never recommend a client to put down a deposit until after inspections anyway.
Sure.
So typically a client is not really going to be out any money for the first 10 business days, except for the inspections. A typical inspection is going to be anywhere from, $350 to $450, $500. It's based upon square footage of the house.
Tina, I want to stop right there. I mean, you're giving out so much great information, but I'm actually teaching a class next week to new real estate agents here in Las Vegas. And one of the topics that we're going to be teaching these new agents is the importance of having a realtor, and a realtor that has a really good lender. And I want them to understand a little better how important it really is that you have a realtor and a lender that work together. Because I don't think a lot of the clients understand how important that lender relationship is. So I'm going to share with them, and I have a lender that's going to be joining me to teach the class, but it is so vital. And the other thing that we say every week is that it's so important that if you're going to choose a realtor, that you have to choose one that deals with relocation. Because everybody says, oh, I have a friend's brother's cousin is a realtor, or I have a guy that, used to be my friend and he said that he's a realtor. Just having a realtor, or having a realtor that specializes like all of our realtors do with leaving California and relocations, is really a big thing. And you brought up the point that every transaction is not the same. So if people have bought 4 or 5 homes in California and now they're going to buy in Arkansas, the process is totally different. And when you have somebody that specializes in this, we can share with you what it's going to look like. And it's going to be different. So if you're moving to another state, don't expect the transaction to be the same. And it's Carol, right? Carol?
Yes,
Carol, if you could, maybe you want to talk a little bit more as a lender and share what that experience of having a relocation specialist like Tina and you working together to help somebody get into a home. That'd be awesome.
I agree. It's very important when you have a team approach in regards to, real estate transactions. You're getting multiple people who have dealt with this type of transaction over and over again, day in and day out, and they're able to guide you. So there's no surprises is typically what we run into when we're not coming up with surprises at the last minute or
Right.
changes. We're able to have the conversations because Tina and I know, what to look for, what to expect, how to navigate. Something that I brag about with Tina is she always has a back pocket plan. I mean, there's been
surprises.
no surprise. Like it's, we know transactions, we know the area, we know how the homes are selling. We know obviously the lending rules and the title companies and all those things that play a part, because you're talking about 5 different entities that come together to help you get to your closing table to get your home purchased. So yeah, I mean, when you're with me, typically, I'll just kind of give an experience for what most of my clients will experience. They'll get a call from me, or somehow we'll connect over the phone via text or phone call, and we'll visit with them. I'll ask them also questions, and I'll get pretty personal in regards to financings, obviously, so we can make sure we have a good understanding of what their needs are, what their plans are for their future, the things that they are finding most important to them as far as their financial aspect. And then I can show them a plethora of different products that may fit to their needs, and then walk them through what it looks like. We have here with my company and the team that I'm on, we have a team approach. So it's myself, Conrad, he's on my team. We work together on every single deal. And then I've got a dedicated processor and a loan coordinator. And I introduce my clients to all of them because I just never want somebody to be left in the dark and like what happens, or, if I had to have an emergency or whatever, want somebody to be, they'll know, not just a next guy, you're not going to be treated like the big
Right.
industries where you're just a number. We really do get to know you. You become, I mean, honestly, like family, real quick. I want to know about your kids. I want to know what your plans are. I was speaking with one lady and she was asking me questions about education. And we've got some of the greatest schools in the area. We've got the art schools. We've got, and so she was just talking about those types of things. Those are the things that were important to her. And her family was the different type of education that you can get here. So, really just finding out those needs and figuring out for that individual, because it is an individual transaction. You're not going to be like your neighbor or your brother or your sister or your uncle, grandparents, or mom or dad. It's going to be you. And that's what we, try to help them understand.
Well, thank you. That was a lot of information. And again, I have to say that, you really need to be careful on who you choose. And again, every week we're just trying to give out good information. And let's face it, Tina, this is a big decision. Somebody's sitting there in California, they've been living there for 30 years and they know that they should leave. And by the way, Carol, thank you so much for bringing up education, because every week we always have a realtor that'll share a story or say something, and they'll say that the client in California basically said, I can't do this to my kids. That's one of the number one things that we're hearing from the group, is that they don't want to do it to their kids. And I remember the first time I heard that, I was like, what do you mean you don't want to do what to your kids? I don't want to raise my kids in California and do that to them. And my daughter just brought me coffee. I mean, I feel the same way. Her and I are super close. Terry has two boys and he's super close with his kids. I know everybody loves their children, and it's amazing to me that they don't want to do that to their kids. So this is a big decision. And Terry, I know you just turned your mute button off, so you want to say something. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to know, do they teach kindergartners that they can transition?
No,
Good.
no, actually, that was addressed by our governor,
Yeah.
Governor Sarah Huckabee.
So-
Love Sarah Huckabee, yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
and said, no, that will not happen in our schools.
We're teaching just to educate them, reading, arithmetic,
Reading, writing, arithmetic.
and
Isn't
all
that racist? Isn't that racist to teach that? I'm sorry.
Let's
Have
hope
I been
not.
educated in the wrong place? We
Here's-
can't teach that kind of stuff in America. Come on.
I didn't quite catch that.
All of us can get in here.
Hey, while I've got you, Tina, while I'm thinking of it real quick, can you just tell me what percentage of your buyers are paying cash for their houses?
it's a pretty small percent, really. I would say probably 10%.
Okay.
Yeah.
And then Denise, can you speak about how different life is from Orange County to where you are now in Northwest Arkansas, and what prompted you to choose Northwest Arkansas over any other place in the country?
Well, let me count the ways, sir. So I was born and raised in Anaheim, not 5 miles from Disneyland. I raised my family in a beautiful town called Yorba Linda. Wonderful schools back in the day. Had you asked me 10 years ago if I'd ever leave California, I'd say absolutely not. You know, where else can I be 20 minutes to the beach, an hour and a half to a ski slope, 45 minutes outside of downtown LA, which means I never had to see it if I wanted, but if there was a good, you know, show or something, I was close enough. And just for the past 5 years, it's gotten so bad, and you pray and you vote and you pray and you vote and nothing's changed. So I went on a Facebook group very similar to this one. And luckily my husband, he works for a global company, and we had our choice to move anywhere in the country we wanted, anywhere. And so I put on a Facebook page just like this one. I said, I have 5 criteria. I said, I want, I'm getting emotional already. Okay, I said, I want no hurricanes, not a ton of snow, because I love the idea of snow, but I don't want to shovel it. I want no California politics. I want 4 seasons, and I want a place where people are kind. And somebody suggested Northwest Arkansas, and we've been to Chicago in the summer, and we've been to Dallas in the spring, and those were all nice, but I'd never lived anywhere. So that's what I really needed, those 5 things. And so I told my husband, I said, they're talking about this place called Bentonville. And he says, Arkansas? No. But we did a little bit more research. We flew into XNA, met with Tina, had a lot of conversations on the phone with her you know, telling her what we wanted and what we needed. And we fell in love with the people first, and then everything else. I'm a kayaker, I'm a rock hound, I'm a fisherman. I do Uber strictly because I love being around people and helping people and telling them how great it is here. We get a lot of people here from other states, and I am countries, and I am the biggest cheerleader for Arkansas.
You are.
But I had just had it with California. Like it's my home, and it breaks my heart. But the only thing I miss is the beach, and not even that. You know,
We do have a lot of water here.
so much water, and there's no place like it, and I just wish I would have found it 15 years earlier.
Boy, I'll
Amen.
tell
That's
you,
great.
Terry says that every week, and he says that that's probably another one of the #1 comments that he gets when he talks to people. And Terry talks to tons and tons of people about leaving California. Obviously, he's the founder of this group, and they always say the one thing that he says every time is, "I wish I would have done it sooner." And you know, actually, you know, hearing that story of all these people saying, "I just can't do it to my kids," and now watching you, Tina, it's Tina, right? Tina?
Denise.
Denise.
Yeah.
Well, Tina, Denise. No,
Yeah.
Denise,
Both of us,
sorry.
yeah.
Denise, sorry, Denise, but for you to get emotional and to have that emotion and what you were going through and being like, I don't want to leave, but I know I have to go. And all the people in California, I mean, my heart breaks for them. It really does. It's really, really sad. And the way I understand it, Terry, is I think they're trying to double down. Isn't that right? They're not changing anything. If anything, they're going in the same direction, and they want to make it worse.
Just wait till after the election, David. They're going to go crazy because I don't think Newsom will be president, but right now he's kind of moderate because he doesn't want people to think he's a leftist wacko. But as soon as the election's over, he's going to change its tune. And I think this year and next year, I think we're just going to see it continue to move further left. You know, all these proposals coming out now regulating how much you can't go, your car has to be set in the next year or two where you can't go more than 10 miles an hour over the speed limit. The wealth tax they're talking about, the exit tax they're talking about, the fact that they keep raising utility rates and the gas tax, everything goes up. It's just, you know, they're eliminating the middle class. And so people who don't make $250,000 a year aren't gonna be able to afford to live in California. So they're gonna have to go somewhere else. And not to mention just the quality of lifestyle. You're not sitting in traffic all day. You're not living paycheck to paycheck necessarily. If you are, it's because you've chosen maybe to take a job that doesn't pay as much, so you don't have to work as hard. There's just so much of a better. I can't believe how much happier I am here in Central Florida, which I grew up here. I knew what I was going to get, but 35 years in California, you forget what it's like to live a normal lifestyle again. And it's people like Tina and Denise and Carol that help our people decide where to move, and that's great. I'll tell you one thing, Tina, I'd love to see some of your other slides. Can you walk us through some of these and show us what you brought us?
Yeah, so you tell me okay, this is just a little bit about me. I've already talked about that. I raised my family here. My family has been here since the 1840s. My family helped to open up this territory. It wasn't even a state yet. And so my family did come here a long time ago. Have a husband, been married 33 years, 3 grown children with also spouses of those 3 children. 1 child lives in Austria. The other 2 live here. The one from Austria, they come here at least a month every year though, and enjoy time with us. We have a 52-acre farm. We've been there for 17 years. We have chickens and cows. I give my clients what's called a beef bundle, and from our cows, we have totally organic grass-fed
Very yummy.
cows. So I give my clients, and that's my gift to them. So, and I just love helping people. I do this. My husband and I have had a business for 27 years in Northwest Arkansas. And we sell, service, and supply printers, and then do IT services. And that's really been his business throughout most of these years. I've helped him with it. I come from corporate America prior to that, so thus the slide. I'm corporate background. But this is my chosen career because I want to help people, and I love it when people are happy, when I find them just the perfect place, and their children are happy, and they're coming to me and saying how much, their children like it so much better here than, and they were afraid about the school system. And I have clients that have come from all over, from really great school systems, but they are very, very happy with where their kids are here. There's another slide. There's Carol. Carol's native Arkansan as well. And 16 plus years experience. She loves helping people as well. And she's been married for 32 years. And then Denise has been married for 35 years. Denise beat us. Okay, and here's a few of the things. So this is Denise and some of the things that she has embraced since coming here. Of course, the kayaking. Was that a kayak? No, that was not a kayak trip we were on.
No,
you're
this
on
is
one
my
of the
new
lakes.
fishing
That's right,
kayak.
fishing kayak.
So that's all geared up for fishing in these beautiful lakes and streams.
And then what you see in the center is where Denise actually found those crystals. There, Arkansas has not only diamond mine, but crystal mines as well. So those are crystals that she found. And when she first came here, her and I took a trip down to the crystal mines because I love to do that as well. And then on the right is actually what digging in the crystal mines looks like for the day.
You're gonna get dirty. That's
You're
me
gonna be
bringing a
dirty.
friend from Texas to go crystal digging with me.
So that's all fun. And then, these slides are just some of the beauty of Northwest Arkansas. The one on the left is a hike. It's a stream, and it shows how beautifully clear. It has some minerals in it. That's why the color of the stream that way. The one in the center is White Rock. It's called White Rock. It's a recreational park. You can go hiking and you can stand out on that rock and have your picture taken over the beautiful Ozarks. The one on the right is actually from a client's house that I found her, and it's on top of a mountain, and that's her view every morning when she gets up. Her husband has Alzheimer's, and she wanted something very memorable for their last few years when he could remember. And so they sold their farm and moved there where they could have beautiful views and share coffee in the mornings. So I really love those sorts of things where I can help people find something for that phase of their life. Bottom left is boating on Beaver. So that's actually part of Beaver Lake. And, you just see it goes in and out of all the valleys. So that's why so many miles of shoreline, but you can get a pretty wide expanse of water out there. That is a boat there. So, from the hillside, it's a pretty wide expanse of water. Then the one in the center is some of the mountain biking trails. So you see all those hills now, are being transformed in the hills and valleys into mountain biking trails, and it's great for the whole family. Bottom right is actually some of the cool trail systems they have in Bentonville, where they put in, different sort of wavy, roads and trails and things, bridges, that sort of thing. The next one, okay, so upper left, that gives you a view of what Beaver Lake looks like from the sky.
Mm.
And there's miles and miles of it. You can go in any one of those coves and ski all day long, or stop on an island or whatever. It's really great fun throughout the summer, and you can do it probably until the end of October. And even fishermen do it all winter long. They're on the lake all winter long, really. In the center is Crystal Bridges World-Class Museum. Alice Walton is the one who started this up and funded it. And so we have some world-class, it's really American artists, is what they specialize in, and they'll have exhibits, and there's hiking trails all around the exterior of that as well, that you can go and use for free. Many of these things that I'm showing are things you can do for free here. To the upper right, that's the Arkansas Razorback football stadium. As you can see, we take it seriously around here.
We bleed that hog.
I can vouch for that. That is true.
Oh, big Stewie, right
And
there.
they're calling the hogs. You can see they're on.
Stewie, yep.
Stewie, yeah. And then bottom left is one of the many farmers markets we have here. So on any given Saturday, spring through late fall, you have great farmers markets in Fayetteville, Springdale, Rogers, and Bentonville. And, you might have people playing live music, sitting there playing live music while that's going on, and lots of local farmers where you can get a lot of organic foods and local, farm to table foods. The middle is the first and only bike in, bike out office building, and it's in Bentonville, and you can see it has a ramp kind of system that goes up and down, and that's where the bikes can go in and out of the building. That's in Bentonville. It's a world-class building, and you'll find some world-class type architecture buildings there like that, but you won't see a lot of skyscrapers. People are like, where's the business? Businesses are in, smaller buildings like that, and it's not like your typical cities that you would think of.
You see the hills.
You see the hills. Yeah, you can still see the hills and nature around. Bottom right is probably a Saturday or something. I see a lot of American flags waving. It's Bentonville downtown. It's just a really quaint downtown square where people can come with their kids and play, and a lot of times they'll have music or other things.
First Fridays, all kinds of.
Yeah, something called First Fridays.
And every city's market like this is unique. I mean,
The farmers
the
markets,
farmers
yeah.
markets are unique to the city, and you can just find something different in every single one.
You can, for sure. And more, you have caves, you have bluffs. The one in the center is Steel Creek on the Buffalo River. The one on the right is actually a waterfall called Glory Hole. And the water comes right through a hole in the top of the cave. You can hike and stand under the water. It completely was frozen up a couple of weeks ago. We had some cold temperatures, and you saw this cascade that was completely frozen. Bottom left is actually crystals from the crystal mine that Denise and I love so much. The one in the center is an easy hike. It's like a 1 mile hike. I go there a lot with friends and with my daughters, and you can swim. So you can jump off those, and you can sit on the rocks and have lunch and then hike back, or sit out there all day long. Actually, Northwest Arkansas was one of the, top 5. I'm not sure, it may have been the top for the leaves and the color of the leaves this fall. For some reason, all of the components were wonderful for the leaves to be the most beautiful they've been. And we have a lot of tourists that come just to see the leaves. So anyway, now to housing statistics, if you want to go in that, but that's kind of a quick rundown of things Northwest Arkansas.
Tina, I mean, you got your family, wow, roots since the 1840s. That's amazing. I completely 100% certify that if you're looking in Northwest Arkansas, you're not going to go wrong by contacting Tina. Like, she could tell you all the history all the way through, which is amazing. And your passion about your city and the way you present it, and it's not just that you're showing us amazing pictures, like I can hear your passion about what you're showing us. And it's like, hey, come on over here. I'll buy you lunch and we'll go look around and I'll show you. And it's just so warm and friendly. I really, really appreciate it. We are getting close to the top of the hour, so we got to be respectful of time. But if you want to just hit this quick, go ahead.
Okay, so these slides pretty much encompass most of the main points that people want to know. This one is for Benton County, and this is Bentonville and Rogers and surrounding areas. People may hear the name Bella Vista as well. Bella Vista is Bentonville School District, but it's a separate town. So that encompasses Benton County. And the key details, key takeaways are months of inventory. Now, this is December statistics. The January's stats weren't out yet, but December statistics, and December was a little bit slower than we are right now. Now, typically January and February are our slowest months, but I can tell you February has really kicked up a notch and we are busier than we were last year.
Yeah, me too. Yeah.
And so 2.41 months of inventory, I would say that's smaller now. I would think it's probably 2 max. List to sold price 97.9. Really people are getting pretty close to ask price. Median days in market 24. Well, what that tells you, a typical close to transaction is 30. Is that what you're seeing, Carol?
And then that's just part of, if you're going to purchase, if your goal is to purchase, you definitely want to get ahead of the game, be ready to pull the trigger, because it does go quick around here.
Median sold price 350,000. That's for kind of your typical in the neighborhood 3-bed, 2-bath house. Typical, those houses are probably going to be on a 1/4 acre lot. That's kind of your typical, square footage, you're probably looking at 1,500 to 1,800 square feet for that.
4-bedroom?
3-bedroom typically. Now the 4 bedrooms, and you can get some 4 bedrooms, there just aren't as many around here. For some reason, all of the builders built 3 bedrooms. Now they're starting to catch on and build 4 bedrooms now, because since the pandemic, there's more people working from home. So I encourage all the builders that I know to please build 4 bedrooms. It's much better. So and this one is the same thing for Washington County, and it's just a little bit different. You'll notice the inventory is a little bit smaller, probably because the University of Arkansas. We have almost 30,000 students that go to the University of Arkansas. Fayetteville is about 95,000 people, or 97,000 maybe now, but I think they get to count some of the students that counted as residents. They get to count them.
And we're typical, I would say, typical college town. I mean, that you
Fayetteville is.
Fayetteville. Fayetteville, as far as just being able to, the entertainment industry type environment, what people are looking for.
Tina, could you go back to one of those pretty beautiful pictures back there?
Yes. Which
That
one?
That's perfect. Well, just as we're kind of closing up things, I do have a couple more questions I got to get in within the next 5 minutes, or Terry's gonna get mad at me. But this is so beautiful. God. First question is, again, back to our members in Leaving California. I'd like to speak directly to them. And we find that a lot of people are stuck. And the fact that people are saying, I don't want to do this to my kids, and then to watch Denise, I didn't even have to look at my notes, Denise, get emotional about it. So if you had somebody and you were speaking directly to our members, to our 300,000 members in Leaving California, and you were going to give them any advice, or if you just wanted to share something with them, they're struggling to make this decision. It's a huge decision for the family. It doesn't just affect one person, it affects the entire family. What would you guys tell somebody that was thinking about leaving?
Oh, Denise.
I would say just do it. I held off for so long thinking that things were going to get better, and regretfully, I waited till my children were grown. So my daughter had just graduated from high school, and I thought that was the way things had to be. You know, we got to wait till she, you know, graduates from high school. We can't take her out in the middle. But the people here are so kind. The manners, the respect, I tell my daughter, she's 19 now, I tell her, if you would have grown up here, you would not put up with half the stuff you put up with from those boys in California, you know, because they respect their mama and they show the respect to their girls, you know. Just, I am so grateful that I finally pulled the trigger, but I regret that it took so long. It really is not as scary as you think it is. The housing market compared to where I came from California, I have 3 times the house on 5 times the amount of land. I feel like I live in a castle, and it was half the price that I sold my home for. So your money goes a lot further here than it does in California. And there's nothing pulling me back, nothing. I'm trying to get the rest of my family all to move out here. We're in the process of doing that. Because I would not go back for anything. And yeah, just check it out. Make that phone call, take that first step, reach out, see if it's possible for you, and just explore. It's amazing.
And Tina, just to be clear, we're not just talking about Arkansas. So when we're talking to our members, we want to give out information for people that want to leave California. Some of them definitely want to go to Northwest Arkansas. I know it's a popular destination for our members. But, you know, if you're just talking to people in general that just want to get out and doing this for so many years and helping people, what would your advice to them be?
My advice would be, you know, take a trip. Some of my clients have first come here and taken a trip and taken a vacation. Bring the family, see if you like the area. You know, you're going to find those areas that your family loves, and then the areas that they're like, nah, you know, I can't see us living here. And you really aren't going to know that until you go and take a little trip. You know, I mean, there's a really inexpensive, you know, cheap flights from California to here. It's not that bad. So take a little vacation or drive across country.
Yeah. And Carol,
Sure.
do you have any advice?
Yeah, I'm just gonna probably mimic Tina. I would say there's really a lot to do here. There's a plethora of things across the board, and whatever your passions are, you're probably going to find somebody that has a similar passion, a similar you know, thought process in and around the area, and can show you and get you involved and get your children involved. Something that I was just looking at one of the road earlier. We have a lot of windy roads, and my husband and I are part of a Miata club, and we have a little Miata, and we'll take drives with our Miata club, and we'll go see different Arkansas spots and visit restaurants that are, you know, the oldest restaurant in Northwest Arkansas, or in Arkansas, is, you know, at Arkansas. We'll take the drive down there. It's a fun drive, and we have a blast. And there's, you know, 50 of us that go, whatever. So there's things to do.
Yeah. And in closing, Terry, what else you got to say for Arkansas?
I just want people to remember that the Walton family is from that area. They have put over $1 billion, I know, right into the area.
Yes.
And that's why you've got museums, you've got culture, you've got things that you don't get necessarily in Little Rock, where the Clinton Library is the main attraction. And anyway, it's not like that in Northwest Arkansas.
So, you know, just a fun fact, 9 of the top 20 most wealthiest families in the US are from Northwest Arkansas and live here. And 38 people a day are moving here.
Wow. That's awesome.
Stats. Yeah.
But in closing, you guys can, if you have anything that you forgot to say or you want to mention to any of our members in leaving California, please do so. And if you guys, Tina and Carol, if you don't mind just saying what your email is and your phone number. I know you put it up on the screen, but if you want to share that again, and if you have anything you want to say in closing, that would be awesome. Well,
so you know, I take it very personally. When people come here and they put their trust in me, I take it very personally, like their family. And because the area is small, it's a smaller area, you're gonna run into those people in the grocery store, walking down the street, and you want to be sure you do the right thing by them. So
Right.
for me, doing the right thing is more important than anything. My name is Tina Stanley. You can find me on the internet under Tina Stanley Realtor. My webpage is out there as well. My phone number is 479-530-1792, or you can reach out to me on Messenger. And I also have it in the slides. I don't know, will these slides be attached or maybe
They'll
not?
be on they should be in the recording.
Okay, good. Okay. Carol?
And then, yeah, I agree. We really do bring you in as part of the family when you become an Arkansan. And we want you to enjoy our area as much as we have, and we'll help you. We'll help you enjoy the area. We'll help your family get established, and we'll help you find jobs. We'll help, if that's what it takes. I mean, we love people. We love to for people to feel happy and just breathe a breath of fresh air.
Right.
I'm Carol Shadrick. You can find me at carolshadrick.com. That's my website. And my phone number is 479-422-1538. And I'm happy to answer any questions I can for you.
And again, I'm the host, and my co-host is Terry Gilliam. I'm David Berry. I'm in Las Vegas. And if you are looking to leave California and you want us to find a realtor like Tina, even if you're going to a different city, I'm at Las Vegas at davidberryrealtor.com. And I really appreciate you tuning in and listening in. I hope this helps. And if you are going to leave and make this your year where you escape California, I hope that we were able to give you some really good information that helps make it smoother, because we understand it's pretty difficult. Mr. Gilliam?
Well, I just want to thank Tina and Carol and Denise. You guys have been great. It's been a pleasure I know Tina already, but it's great to meet Carol and Denise. And just thank you for everything. And David, great host as always. And I really appreciate you hosting today.
Thank you, sir. Everybody have a good day. Take care.
Thank you
Bye-bye.
so much.
Bye.
Bye, y'all.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.